Prairie Mosaic is funded by the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund with money from the vote of the people of Minnesota on November 4th, 2008, the North Dakota Council on the Arts, and by the members of Prairie Public.
Welcome to Prairie Mosaic, a patchwork of stories about the arts, culture, and history in our region.
Hi, I'm Matt O'Lean.
And I'm Barb Gravel. On this episode of Prairie Mosaic, we'll learn how to fillet a fish, listen to a poetry reading, get painting tips from a pro, and enjoy the uplifting sounds of rock polka.
The Hardanger Fiddle has a long history dating back to the early 1600s in Norway. Bud Larson of Brainerd, Minnesota has been building and playing these instruments since his youth. And now he's happy to pass this knowledge on to a new generation.
The Hardanger Fiddle has been called the devil's instrument, but it was and always has been a folk instrument built for the music that was played on it and built for the people. The Hardanger Fiddle actually has a fairly long history. It dates from at least the early 1600s in Norway. It started out looking quite a bit different, a little squattier and a little thicker than a regular violin. It was made especially to play the Norwegian dance music. My name is Robert Edward Larson. People call me Bud, but I live in Brainerd, Minnesota. My father was a fiddler in his younger age and a violin teacher and a collector of Hardanger fiddles. I had started to learn how to play the fiddle from my dad when I was a little kid. When I was in the 7th grade, we moved to a small apartment in Fargo. Just down the hallway from us was Gunnar Helland. And my father was a Norwegian immigrant, and he was from Norway too, so we became good friends. The Helland family in Telemark, Norway, was the largest violin-making family in the world, bigger than either Stradivarius or Granary families. When I was in the 9th grade, I began working regularly in his shop, learning violin repair for about 9 years. Gunnar wasn't building many Hardanger fiddles at that time. He said that the tradition was really dying out. The last instrument that he built hung there in his shop for all the years that I worked with him. Then, towards the end of the time that I worked with him, he gave me that fiddle, and he said, "Someday you can finish this for me." Then finally, about 73 years after he started it, I actually finished it. It's my favorite fiddle. Gunnar used to get wood from his father in Norway. A lot of that wood came from the old stave churches that were being taken apart. Some of these heavy timbers that they found were very good sound wood. He liked that because during the Hans Nielsen Hauge revival in Norway, there were people going around to the farmsteads destroying fiddles because they said that this was the instrument of the devil. And of course it was associated with long parties and a lot of drinking and carousing, so they had fiddle burnings. Gunnar used to say that this was a sad part of his history, but now he was building fiddles from the church, so it was a way for him to get back at the church for having destroyed so many fiddles. Hardanger fiddle is built mainly spruce tops and maple for the rest of the violin, and nowadays ebony parts. The materials in a Hardanger fiddle have changed somewhat over the years, and the designs are always changing.
My name is Ruth Dramstead. I'm from rural Cass County, and I play Hardanger fiddle with the Fargo Spelmanslag. I received a grant from the state of North Dakota to build my own Hardanger fiddle. I was apprenticed to Bud Larson.
North Dakota has a very good grant program for helping people to remember the old things that used to be an integral part of North Dakota culture and history. and emphasizing that these things should be passed on. I've been supported to continue teaching new people, especially younger people now, like Ruth, who have taken an interest in their Norwegian heritage, to actually build a fiddle. It's been an interesting experience to work with them all.
At our first workshop, we made a form and bent sides to match the form. After that, we carved the top and bottom plates out of maple and spruce. We carved the neck out of maple, and the fingerboard and tailpiece are inlaid ebony. To ink the fiddle, we started by covering the whole fiddle in watered down wood glue so that the ink wouldn't bleed. And then we would take a piece of paper with a design on one side and spread chalk on the other side and use pencil to transfer the chalk to the fiddle, and then we would trace over the chalk lines with ink pens. My fiddle is based with North Dakota themes, so I have a meadowlark on the back and a bison head as my scroll, and wild prairie roses inlaid onto the fingerboard, and a wheat stalk onto the tailpiece. My fiddle took about 1.5 years to build and 200 hours total. I hope to share the tradition of building and playing the Hardanger fiddle with many different people.
The Hardanger fiddle will keep on going because it can adapt to change.
The Lake of the Woods is famous for its walleye. The taste of that clean, sweet whitefish is unparalleled when prepared correctly. Watch as our guide, Angle Andy, teaches us how to prepare our own shore lunch.
Right there. Now drop your rod tip down, find the bottom, and this, give it little shakes like this. So you're just lightly swimming the minnow. There you got one. Okay, so today I'm going to show you how to clean a walleye. The first thing I like to do when cleaning a walleye here is you lift these two fins back and you simply angle your knife so it's not going through the scales. You're going back into them like so, and you go right down to the bone here. Our next step is push straight through right down the backbone so I miss this fin here and this fin here. It'll be flat right to here. And then I'm going to stop and flip the fillet down. And you simply just take your knife all the way down to the end of the fish, and I prefer not to cut the end off. Some people like to cut it off. The next step is to just skin them. You simply just take your knife and you just take your knife and push it through the fish like this. All fish cleaning is just push your knife through. Just let your knife do the work. So I'm right down on the skin and I just slide her right through. There's the rib bones here, and there's a set of Y bones. And I'm going to show you how to take them both out at the same time. So what I'm going to do is, you see the fish has got a center line here. I'm going to be on the rib side, and I'm just going to score my knife right down to the bones. And I simply just go right down the lateral line of the fish, and I'm just laying my knife in there, and I simply turn it and go down. And it'll take me a couple swipes here. Just twist like that, and then I go right down the other side of the lateral line, take that off, and here's your boneless piece of meat. Here's your ribs. You can see there's no meat on there, and here's your little strip of Y bones all out at one time. And now you got a boneless piece of meat, and you simply, to get them in strips, you simply just cut them like that. It's ready to go. No bones. Now we're on to the other side. Same as the other side, we're going to angle our knife in like this so we're not going down on the scales, we're going back up into them. And this helps you get more meat too as well. Now I'm right at the backbone, and then it's simply turn your knife and follow it, the angle of the fish all the way down through right to there's your spot. So we simply just right to the end of the spot there, and then we're going to flip them open. And then this step here is lay your knife and push through. You get my knife down to the skin here, and then it's simply just slide her through. I'm going to be on the rib side, and I just simply take my knife and cut down to the ribs. So that's what I'm doing right there. And now I just lay my knife and twist it like this. And I'm just following the bones. And then here's the line of the fish here. We're gonna go right on that side. And that's gonna take the ribs and the Y bones out at the same time here. And we simply just rip her in half, and it's boneless, ready for the frying pan. And there's a hidden golden nugget on these fish as well. This is called the wingding. And now we're going to show you, it's like the shrimp of Lake of the Woods. I'm going to show you guys how to take this out and make it a tasty little piece. So I simply just take my knife here, cut it down, and now I got it laying flat, and now I'm going to skin this piece of skin off. So I simply just cut it off just like so, and now you got a tasty little, it's like eating shrimp out of Lake of the Woods. They're pretty much all cleaned up, ready to go now. White as can be. Today we're gonna go the route of shore lunch. We're gonna cook some spuds up. We'll whip a little batter up and put our 8 ounces in, 6, 7, 8. We'll throw our fish in there. So I got my fish batter all mixed up here. We're gonna go outside and do some cooking now. All right, we're gonna fire this bad boy up. It's done probably 5 or 6 shore lunches in the day. I hope you guys are hungry, because then you're probably gonna have leftovers. Okay, now I'm down to the shrimp of the lake here. They're going in. They're all fried up. Now it's pretty much ready to go. So we got potatoes, fish, beans, about all the essential things for shore lunch.
Denise Lajimodiere is an artist and poet who enjoys conducting writing workshops for new writers. She encourages them to write often and from the heart. Listen as she reads a poem from her book, Dragonfly Dance.
Something, spark an idea, anything you want to write about.
I think we have some of the most creative people, native young people here on our reservation that are excellent artists and writers. The poems for Dragonfly Dance probably started when I was 10 years old, and I had stopped writing for a while when I was in high school. There were no other native writers, and I thought, well, Indians don't write. And then I picked up a book called Love Medicine, and it was by a female writer, Louise Erdrich, and not only was she Chippewa, Ojibwe, but she's from my tribe. She came here to the reservation, her and her sister Hyde Erdrich, and they did some workshops. Louise sat with me under a bur oak tree, and she looked at me and she said, "You can write." So that gave me the confidence to put a manuscript together. In my book, Dragonfly Dance, I talk about the dragonfly that changed my life. It just looked at me eyeball to eyeball, just was right in front of me, looking at me while I was dancing. Suspended above our plumed and feathered heads, the dragonflies joined us for grand entry at Red Lake, the sun striking flames from their sapphire wings, these winged mounts of ancestor spirits returning to heal. I move in step with the drum. I dance with the dragonflies as one drops down to gaze into my face with its lovely bright eyes. I hold its gaze, this holy creature, spirit of the water, born of the water as I am. Life, birth, power of love made constant. She spins her beaded body to join the dragonfly dance as my wings join their rhythm, my feet vibrating. I'm willing to teach anyone who wants to learn how to write poetry.
Doesn't have to rhyme. You know, you can pick any one of your sentences, any one of these, and write a haiku.
I spend time with 10 to 23 students writing poetry, writing memoir. Others have worked with them in writing fiction and flash fiction, are doing art, are blending the two, the poetry and their art.
I strongly believe that an image is yet to be created that will change the world. Maybe not the whole world, but just one, and this vision of mine will continue.
A lot of young writers a lot of writers, period, don't like to revise their work. So I work with them in revising, looking at line length or just what the poem looks like on the page and so on, and their thoughts, but encouraging them to write.
Just keep writing. So for the next 10 minutes, just write.
Find a mentor, talk to them, write to them, join workshops.
When we do poetry workshops, we warm up the brain attached to our hand. So
one of the best things I was told by Louise is when she was reading one of my poems, she said, "What's happening here?" or "What happened here?" And so I told her, and she said, "Write that down just the way you said that." So other mentors have said not to try to use fancy highfalutin words that you don't use every day. So I talk to the students about just writing down, and I do the same thing to them. What's happening here? And write that down just the way you told me.
You got some ideas? Just write, and then we revise.
A lot of it is button chair, just keep writing, write.
Master artist Buck Paulson is always painting his next masterpiece. While he lets the paint dry, Buck likes to share stories of his journey through art and discuss the techniques that helped make him the artist he is today.
I started 5-6 years with the Alexander Art Company. Gary Jenkins was doing television, and he'd take some of my homemade shows and he'd show them at these conventions that have mall shows and so on. There's a fellow by the name of Dave Larson who did some filming for Alexander Art Company. So he put us together. And it seemed like right away that it was a pair of shoes, it felt comfortable. I love these Alexander brushes. They respond. Alexander Art Company. The Alexander Art Company all of a sudden kind of crumbled. And that's when I thought, I want to keep doing the television, but where do I go? I was fortunate enough to meet Bob Demback in San Francisco. And I had stopped by and visited Prairie Public, kind of a public relations thing as I was coming back to see my parents. When Bob found out that I was no longer with the Alexander Company, boy, right away, let's get together. On today's show, we're going to use a knife. So I've been with the Prairie Public Company, as you know. This is my 20th season. It just gets better and better. It's so great being back here. I love PBS, and I love my Prairie Public PBS. Most of the times I'll have a white canvas and I'll put a little priming on it, maybe pink or the greenish or blue or so on. We have a canvas that has been primed with 6 white, 1 Payne's gray, 1 permanent green light. But then I like once in a while just to splash some colors on with acrylics, and you spray it with water and let it flow, and when it looks like it's kind of decorative, set it down, let it dry, and then you come and work on that. I've done a few baseball scenes with that in the background. I've even done some portraits that way. I love the good imagination I have when I can see something, make something out of it. It's fun. I like all subjects. I like to paint portraits because you talk to the model. I love still life because you can do it in a more creative way and it still feels good. I love the ocean. We've been living in Santa Barbara since 1962, and the ocean is 1 block away. That is so good. I can go down there and be refreshed, walk along it. You can be a little freer in doing it, and you can use your imagination to put up a wave or so on. Oh, that is a tough one. I know I've used burnt umber a lot. It's a very versatile thing. It may not be where I want it to project itself, but it's a great base for these other colors that come along. It's almost like a supernumerary waiting for the diva to come on stage. It's the star of the show. I love blues, reds, like anthraquinine red and a few of these with white. They're absolutely beautiful. You paint and then you discover another color and you think, oh, I'll use that too. So it isn't just taking one and putting all the rest in the paint box. Just know that I realize I'm not perfect. My art isn't perfect, but I am so pleased in doing what the Lord has allowed me to do in art. I meet a lot of fine people. I work with great people. It's such a marvelous experience. Oh, it's been great. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.
The Meat Rabbits are a group of talented musicians who combine traditional polka, rock, and pop music for a fun and energetic show.
If you know of an artist, a topic, or an organization in our region that you think would make for an interesting segment, please contact us at Prairie Mosaic at prairiepublic.org.
You can watch this and other episodes of Prairie Mosaic on Prairie Public's YouTube channel and follow Prairie Public as well on social media. I'm Matt O'Lean.
And I'm Barb Gravel. Thank you for joining us for another edition of Prairie Mosaic.
Prairie Mosaic is funded by the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund with money from the vote of the people of Minnesota on November 4th, 2008, the North Dakota Council on the Arts, and by the members of Prairie Public.